All right, let's get it. Welcome to the Zero Substance Podcast brought to you by Slim Fast Deportes. I'm flying solo today. And it's not that I don't like it. I get exposed for being out of shape. I feel like I gotta talk a lot. I mean, I like little pauses here and there, but let's get straight to it. No excuses. I'm gonna say goodbye to the Knicks first. Um, I gotta get personal right off the bat. I just feel like with the whole D Rose situation, it's tough seeing him just on the bench. I mean, I just know from what I'm accustomed or like what I've seen of D Rose, the guy was hungry to get some playing time. There's just no way that there's just like no life where I see no world where I see D Rose not hungry for like game time in that situation. And kind of sucks that we just got robbed from what could be one of his last playoff performances. Jalen Brunson, he's meant for that stage. He looks good on that stage. Took over this Knicks team as like the leader and stuff like that. Right off the bat, you could tell his input was felt immediately. You got Julius Randle for sure. That guy for sure frustrates me a little more, and I could. This is probably like one of the very few times that I'll agree with Stephen A. Smith, where Julius Randle kind of just like he settles. Anytime someone with that strength, that height, steps back, falls away, he lost. He settled. He just takes the dude's like a power forward version of James Harden, and it's just like back someone down, take advantage of mismatches in the post. Like every big man's a face up guy now, and it's just a little frustrating. I know where 90s era people could just literally get so mad. 80s, 90s guys are just like, oh, these guys don't punish people in the hole anymore, and it's just Julius Randle for sure is one of those guys. Um, RJ Barrett, it's like naturally, I feel like he doesn't want to be like a 3 point shooter, or naturally he's not a 3 point shooter, and he's kind of just like obligated. Um, he has to work on his pick and roll game. Like if he wants to change up and he wants to do something better, he needs to be he needs to operate in the pick and roll. I don't know who the pick and roll teacher is in the offseason and stuff like that. But that's where RJ is probably gonna have to take his game to the next level as far as just operating in pick and roll. Struggles to play make. He's a scorer, pretty good athleticism, just struggles like off the dribble, creating for other people. Um, there's at times where honestly, I think I would rather roll with Josh Hart. Um, Josh Hart, literally like last name Hart, cliche, but dude's all heart, man. Like rebounding wise, defensive wise, and the Knicks to me overall, I think they overachieved. Didn't really see them getting past that first round. Them beating the Cavs and like pretty much dominating the Cavs. I kind of see them as overachievers, or just where they just met into a team where they just met a team in the Miami Heat where I said this before. I said this first episode. Culture, culture. Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra. That's like 7 Eastern Conference Finals now. 4 with D Wade, and now 3 with Jimmy. It's and he's what, top 5 I think by himself now in all time playoff wins. Those things you can't take lightly. Spoelstra very rarely gets out coached. Always looks comfortable. Always kind of wants his teams to compete. Never really gets defeated. Um, Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy. As soon as around this time of the year, Jimmy top 3. I don't even want to say like could realistically be top 1. Loves because I just like how he does it both ways. Like on has a two-way player as well. Jimmy gets into you defensively, um, and he's like the opposite of RJ Barrett, where he's learned how to operate in pick and roll, can play make. I feel like a lot what of the Miami Heat does versus like the regular season and the playoffs is give Jimmy the ball, make him play, make let Jimmy take us home, and it's worked. Um, I mean, it's crazy. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I really see them being a tough out. I'm probably gonna leave the Boston Philly game for last. That's what I'm gonna finish off with. Kyle Lowry, Kyle Lowry. Uh, Kyle Lowry is a gamer. You've seen it since the Raptors days. Um, very like they're supposed to making like key decisions off the bench. I heard a quote yesterday during the game that Kyle Lowry gives the whole bench confidence because he's been there and he just kind of lets them play a little more free. And that's little things like that where like Spoelstra should, I mean, anyone, probably 9 out of 10 coaches start Kyle Lowry. I mean, it was because of like injury where that's why he came off the bench, but he stuck with it. Um, as far as like, as far as like going forward, I'm like Kyle Lowry. I mean, Kyle Lowry plays starter minutes, so I don't really, I don't think there's like a big difference if like, oh, he's a starter or he's coming off the bench. I think realistically, he's one of the key guys on this team, and you can say whatever you want. Um, Bam Adebayo, a lot of times, gets critiqued. Undersized, not good offensively. Dude, I'm pretty sure uh, 30 executives in this league would easily take Bam Adebayo on their team. Um, Dude guards 1 through 5. Defensive player of the year hasn't got it yet, but he's just always knocking on that door, and kind of steps it up on the play in the playoffs. Bam is like we're like one of those guys, one of those cases where like he looks old, like he looks older than he really is, and you kind of just sometimes think like, all right, is this guy as far as like is this guy ever gonna reach his ceiling? And I'm like, well, Bam is young, and Bam has competed against the most top-notch guys in this league. Like this is 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4 Eastern Conference Finals for the Miami Heat. Um, Injuries kind of messed them up as far as like regular season, but I knew they'd be ready for these playoffs. Um, I gotta stop saying That's like probably like the 80th time I said. In general, though, happy for the Miami Heat. They're where they belong. They are where they belong. They are who we thought they were, or at least who I thought they were. I'm excited. I'm excited because in general, to beat this team 4 times, it's not gonna be easy. Hopefully they get Tyler Hero back. That's gonna give him a little boost off the bench. And honestly, to me, the Heat's playing with house money. I overuse that phrase as well, house money. But the Heat are definitely playing with house money going forward, and just in general, it's like they're an eighth seed. Eastern Conference Finals is just like, dude, surprise the world, Miami, and I'm cool with that. Moving on. Gotta say goodbye to the Golden State Warriors. This makes me uncomfortable just because I'm a true professional, and that's a classy organization over there. That's a team that's well run and puts their best product out. Where a lot of teams, all sports, have good pieces, but they struggle to put their best product on the floor or on the field, whatever you want to label it. The Golden State Warriors do that year in, year out. Um, this is a franchise where they've like a lot of times I go to the Forbes list just because it just kind of shows where like fan bases are trending, and this is one of the most trendy fan bases in all sports. Golden State Warriors. There's a culture. There's um there's something about this team where like they're a hot ticket. They're a hot ticket in this market. Uh, Steph Curry, as far as like just as far as like movement off the ball, sometimes it's really something special because he doesn't stop moving. I got stats right here. I'm finally gonna show my first stats or talk about my first amount of stats. Steph Curry leads everyone 396. So he scored 396, gets eliminated, but leading right now in total points. Devin Booker second and Nikola Jokic third. Where Steph Curry is still that dude, man. Like so in general, as far as like point guard, I'm going to war with it's Steph Curry by far. Um, a little, and I feel like he was a little bit hobbled. I mean, obviously, Steph's never gonna make those excuses. You're not gonna find out about it, but it was just that left shoulder, that whatever you call those little left shoulder braces or whatever. He had it on through all these playoffs, and it was just kind of weird how he was like dumping. He was like catapulting passes all year. I don't know if it just does that on purpose now or like there was like a weird there's something weird about how he was dumping off and just passing the ball with his left hand this playoffs. Um, Draymond and Clay. I mean, right now Clay is gonna be. I guarantee it. The most talked about guy. Where this is it. Oh, Clay Thompson's done for. He's just not the same guy. Latterly, all these injuries have caught up with him. It happens. Like unrealistically, he was making scoring at a clip that is challenging for a lot of people to do. Um, I don't feel that way about Clay at all. He's a gamer. He could still, to me, he could still play defense. This was one of those years where like this team has always been there. You know, when they are healthy, they took those 2 years off. But besides those 2 years off, they've been deep playoff runner, finals run, dude. What is it? What is it? I don't want to go to like getting exposed like that, but I gotta look things up right now. I'm pretty sure out of those 4 years, they lost. They lost two finals. So 4 out of 6 years they go to finals, and then 4 out of 8 they go 4 out of 8 final runs. Um, Magical run, dude. Like this is a dynasty. I'm not gonna say the dynasty's over either, because at the end of the day, Bob Myers that scares me a lot. Where if Bob Myers leaves, that's gonna be a struggle. You can't replace those guys overnight for sure. Like you get someone in there, it's gonna take time. But you already got the pieces. A lot of question marks where if like get rid of Draymond, get rid of Clay, or get rid of Jordan Poole, and it's just like realistically to me, it is gonna be Jordan Poole like the odd man out. Where I would just stick with that core that just knows each other, that's battle tested. Wiggins can stay as well. Obviously, he goes through a lot this year. Honestly, the biggest downfall of the Warriors this year was the whole Wiggins situation. Chemistry wise, just in general, like you feel like he never got his feet under him. You missed 25 games. It's challenging for anyone to come straight into the playoffs. He was finding moments, and you saw the flashes of how good Andrew Wiggins is. But then he goes down with that rib injury, and come on, no one should realistically be able to play off something like that. Um, Jordan Poole is one of those guys for sure that you could tell he's enjoying the moment, which is fair. But you got some serious players that take basketball seriously on your team, and sometimes you gotta maybe party in your later years, dude. Like you could tell it's a focus thing with Jordan, where like I could already see it. This guy's out. This guy's a partier. I know a partier when I see a partier, and Jordan Poole's a partier. Um, and his potential, like last year to me, he was the key guy. Like last year, he gave them that extra flair that they needed. There was a few shots where he made like the half court shots where you're just like, there's no way. And he made some of those shots. Like even in game one, there was this one shot where he was trying to draw the fall and he just threw it up there and it went in. And there's like he for sure, like you could tell he at least works out with stuff where like he is getting better and just like using that high screen, rejecting the high screen, can dribble. He shows flashes of being like pretty fast, and he can shoot like off the dribble, and that's the challenge where like Golden State's bigs are always gonna screen for you, help you score. Like they help their guards score. Like Kevon Looney, offensive rebounding and screening. That's all he knows. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about like, hey, like, let me get a dump down or nothing. All he cares about is setting screens and crashing the offensive glass after he sets that screen and lets his guard shoot. That's all Kevon Looney. You know what? This playoff series for sure. It's just like to me, Kevon Looney is one of those guys. Like I always like to say it is the most unathletic, athletic guy I've ever seen in my life. That's how I would label Kevon Looney. But now this after this playoffs series, give me Loon any day of the week, especially like even like off a roll off the bench or something, where like your backup center or he's a starting center in this league. He's a top three rebounder. Um, Protects the paint fairly enough, and he just knows how to set those mobile screens that the Golden State Warriors like to set. Give me Loons any day of the week for sure. So there's a nice core there in Golden State. There's enough to keep building with. You just got to tweak it a little bit, find some new pieces, get a little younger in certain aspects to where you could give this a run for like another 4 or 5 years. Um, Moving on. Let me get a quick little breath. Moving on to the late show. We're still here. The beard must continue. Get so excited talking about them. Austin Reeves, like right away, I was just like, I'm free flowing this right now. There's no notes, no nothing. Austin Reeves to me has been surprising to say the least. Like, I didn't really like the matchup as far as like where Clay Thompson. It was a lot of Clay Thompson on him. Sometimes he would switch on to Steph, and I was worried for Reeves. I'm like, I can't ask that. I realistically can't ask Austin Reeves to, excuse me, to limit Clay Thompson, to limit Steph Curry. I could ask Austin Reeves to try his hardest and put pressure on them defensively, so where like him on the ball, and he did that. I mean, we needed we I feel like the Lakers need one big Austin game no matter what. Like even going forward, or they have like up to this point needed one big boy Austin Reeves game, and he's delivered. And I'm happy for that guy. Like though that guy, you see it, that half court shot I think won them the game yesterday. Yeah, it was at halftime. It was right before halftime, but it was just kind of like a taste of their own medicine for the Warriors, where like those that was usually like what Jordan Poole did last year. Just a few of those little half court shots that are just demoralizing, demoralizing. Those half court shots, I'm telling you, those things you go into the locker room with and they stick. D'Angelo Russell, I mean, since the trade, the numbers are good as far as like him, AD, and Bron playing together, and he's fitting nice. Like the dude's a three-level scorer. Like I've seen him in the mid range, and Steph's solid 6'4", and a lot of times, he kind of made him look little at times in the post. One of the big shots of the whole series was that post up on Wiggins after the Warriors tied the game, 14-0 run. Game one, that D'Angelo post up on Wiggins won the series, to be honest. Uh, Lakers lose that game one. I don't think they ever recover from that. So D'Lo, love hate at its finest. Like me and D'Lo, love hate at its finest. Stresses me out sometimes because I just think like he gets caught a little bit. I don't want to say showboating, but it's like a little too flashy sometimes. I'm like D'Lo, just get to your spots, dude, and make it happen. Like you got it, and you got it in your bag. Like I see it. You can shoot over the top certain people and stuff. There are certain shots. There was just like a floater yesterday that literally touched the ceiling at Staples and went in. Um, 20 points like over a course of a series looks like unrealistic, but if he does it, if D'Angelo Russell can give the Lakers 20, this is a scary team, cause Bron is just like yesterday was out of this world as far as like I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. Yesterday LeBron was QB1 at its finest, just kind of like calling plays, QB1. Just directing the offense. Hey, corner, like it was just pointing everyone to their spots, and it was just it was fun to see for me. And I feel like at this point, his knowledge, he can direct the thing, like he can direct these guys like to the right places and get the right matchups out of them for them where they could strive. It's just gonna be kind of where like if he himself can do enough as well, you know. Where I mean, you see it in flashes. Like I do see that he gets tired sometimes. Hurts me to say, yeah, but Braun gets tired sometimes. Um, but then I do just see flashes of like, dude, what are we in like 2007? And there was just that one moment yesterday for sure that no look, the Magic Johnson pass, and I just kind of had to like take a second, and I'm like, LeBron is really the point guard of the Lakers right now of Showtime, and it's just like I know I know to a lot of people it's like, oh yeah, switching teams, this and that, which is fair. But there's certain organizations that deserve certain players, and I just feel like it's like since day one. I mean, it's been a long, bumpy road, but when you see LeBron in full effect at Staples or the Crypto.com arena right now, it just feels right. Like 100% biased comment, but it just feels right to me, and it just looks. There's something about that arena where like you got all the peoples in the front row, and there's just something about that place, and LeBron just fits right in. Anthony Davis, I worry a lot about Anthony Davis as far as like offensive. Like he kind of just he goes missing a lot. Like everyone right now, the trending story is the one good game, one bad game, and which is fair because it is it is what has happened. But defensively, Anthony Davis has been as far as like just staying vertical. There are some times where he looks like he gets beat and he just kind of like cuts the corner, like adjusts his body really well for how big and tall he is. There was this one play on Steph yesterday where Steph kind of just got a step on him, and then he just kind of like did like a 180 spin, and was able to catch up to him. And those are the little things about like Anthony Davis where his footwork is like that of like a guard sometimes, as far as like yeah, like his footwork. He does he's like mobile and knows how to like cut ground really good. So what he has done though this whole playoff run is play defense. So that's gonna be the big matchup. I mean, let's talk matchups. Tough test, Denver Nuggets. Um, there was this like imaginary like a dream that I had where like the Nuggets and the Lakers played a playoff series. It was in 2020. I had this dream. Nuggets and Lakers play against each other. Um, Jokic. Since then, I feel like he deserved like I think he's taken that leap, or we have to see if he has taken that leap. That's gonna be the key, one of the big keys. Where if Jokic has to leave Anthony Davis to the point where like, all right, this dude's like on another level. If they're somewhat close, I don't even want to say because I just feel like But if that matchup is somewhere close to each other, I really like the Lakers. I feel good about where the Lakers could be. But I mean, even then, let's move on a little bit to the Nuggets. You got Jamal Murray and you got KCP. KCP, I'm a little worried because that's an inside man. Like I feel like he knows LeBron, he knows Anthony Davis, so he's gonna give good intel no matter what. I can see it, and he is also as a gamer. He to me was the third best player in that imaginary dream that I had in 2020, where the Lakers won a championship. In 2020, in the imaginary dream finals, KCP to me was the third best player on the Lakers. They have Kuzma, but KCP to me, as far as defensively, shooting, and then weirdly gets to the basket good and kind of shoots mid range is good. So To me, he's one of those key X factors. I think as far as like an important list, as far as like most important players in this series, KCP is probably in the top five. Maybe like even like 7 or 8. Like as far as like we go down the list, obviously you go Jokic, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Murray. Those guys are a lock for four. Any way you want to arrange them. Uh, when you go into like five, weirdly or not, I mean it's just maybe like to me it's even like KCP over like a Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter. But those are the three guys. Those are gonna be the other three guys for the Nuggets. And for the Lakers, it's D'Lo. So though, like D'Lo and I almost even sometimes think like Dennis is more key than Austin as far as like because what Dennis can do defensively is underrated. Then you got people like Hachimura and Vanderbilt, where I want to see how they match up with like the likes of an Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. And Michael Porter Jr. is playing some good ball as far as like that dude's athletic and his shot looks pretty just catch and shoot, pure, just a pure scorer like that guy Michael Porter Jr. So uh, I'm already nervous, and it's Saturday. First game's on Tuesday, but this is just like from an excitement level, like a 9-4. Like this is a good series. This is two teams that match up well. Deservingly, to be honest, this is what us as fans deserve as far as like Western Conference, because you looked at the Western Conference going into these playoffs, and there was talent all over the board, and a lot of people doubted the Lakers, and a lot of people doubted the Nuggets, and now here we are. Those are the last two teams left. I feel like I said, I feel excited. That good nervous, like that good nervous that it's like an excitement. It's kind of like before a flight, before you go on a vacation or something, or like you can't sleep, but it's because you're excited. Um, uh, Predictions, matchups. I already said it's Joker AD key number one. Can LeBron, can LeBron coach and play at the same time? That's one of the big things because there's only one guy that's done that, and may he rest in peace, the GOAT, Bill Russell. That's one thing too, where like if LeBron can like sniff out these matchups and communicate them to the defense, and to where if he could find that on offense, that's gonna be major. Where the Nuggets, I see them just being young, athletic, and just being able to like do things that the Lakers can't handle. So that's what like worries me as far as like if Murray is just that special, Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon are just that special. Oh, I think this series obviously doesn't go under 5 games. We're looking at 6, 7 games, no matter what. I'm not gonna make a prediction. You guys know who I'm rooting for. I just hope that we get close games and this this beer just goes in full grown. Like um, I'm excited. Like I said that 18 times, and it's just like for real. I am excited, and I just think that this matchup right here is gonna be chess at its finest, to the point where um, it's gonna come down to like a few moments of like someone like Austin or like someone like KCP. Like it's just like little runs like that just get you over the hurdle. Like there's Bruce Brown. Like this is gonna question. Like this is gonna test deep, like how deep a team is. So it's gonna be like that seventh, eighth guy. That seventh, eighth guy. What could you bring to the team? And honestly, advantage Nuggets. I'm being honest, but it's just like who's gonna really do it now in this series. So let's do it. All to play for. 2 left in the Western Conference. Good old Nuggets. Good old Lake Show. Let's get it. At least 6 games, guaranteed. The 2 best words in sports. Game 7. Boston, Philly. Philly had that game. I'm worried for them. I'm nervously smiling for the Philadelphia 76ers. Game 6, Tatum struggled all game long, goes off in the fourth. Philly couldn't close it. Doc Rivers tends to um tends to have a bad rep, or rightfully so, has a bad rep in these situations. Not really prepared for closeout games. Does doesn't do his best work at this time of the year, where he does have experience. He's been around great teams. He won with Boston. So, I mean, if anyone knows the Garden, everyone knows Boston is Doc Rivers. So it's just kind of like a weird place. Like, from a coaching standpoint, I feel like the Sixers should have the advantage. I mean, it's only fair, right? But players, that's a close. That's I honestly see this going down to live or die by a James Harden possession. You know how Jimmy pulled up last year, Game 7. Jimmy pulled up for three. I think it was for the win. I see Boston doing enough to be in that situation no matter what. These guys are battle tested. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. You're gonna get their best effort. Like, the Celtics won't beat themselves. Like, they're prepared. They're gonna be ready for this. My big thing is, I think the Sixers are gonna live and die by James Harden on Sunday, where they have uh, the MVP in Joel Embiid, where in today's NBA is just so hard, like to just get a clean post up. They're gonna double instantly, like as soon as they get. Honestly, I see the Celtics living with James Harden 1v1 over Embiid any day of the week. So that's why I feel really good about this all coming down to a James Harden shot. That's what I'm gonna call. That's my prediction. It's all gonna come down to a James Harden shot. I'm gonna break it down a little bit. I like Tyrese Maxey, for obvious reasons. He's a clutch guy. He, like I said, he's on my top 5 fastest players list. Even though it's we're doing 6th grade takes on here. Tyrese Maxey, though, as far as getting to the cup, just he's just a blur. The only thing is, can he catch and shoot? Can he make enough threes? Tobias Harris, do I trust Tobias Harris? I mean, he can rebound. He's a solid player. I don't want Tobias Harris to overshoot. I want to keep Tobias at like about 10, 12 shots at most. Embiid and Harden have to. Those 4 guys, I want to live or die by those 4 guys. PJ Tucker is one of those guys where, like, he's he's an X Factor guy. You already know PJ is battle tested, veteran. That open 3, though, don't settle for that. That's there for a reason, and Boston's gonna give you that no matter what, as long as you want it. So if it's not going early, don't keep going to that. Don't keep fighting. Like, that's one big thing where, like, if there's a certain shot that's always there, it's there for a reason. Be careful with that, Philly, as far as like PJ Tucker. And I trust PJ Tucker, but it depends on the moment. There's just nights where that shot's falling. All right, fine, let it rip. If it's not falling, don't keep falling into the same trap, please. There's other guys. I mean, like Georges Jing. Probably said that, bottled that name right. On the Sixers, the Sixers are probably gonna have to go like 7 or 8 deep. I think they should literally only go 7 deep. So let's go through them as far as like the 76ers. You got obviously Harden, starts with Maxey. Oh, I'm bogus. I already knew this, but I'm bogus for not knowing it instantly. DeAndre Melton. This is one of those guys. Like always, he's been top 5 in defense for like the last 3 years. So I want the Sixers to go 3 guard Tobias and Embiid. A lot this game. Those guys probably have to do like 34 minutes, 35. You throw in a little bit of Georges Jing, and that's it. Just ride that team out. I mean, I know Embiid is hobbled and not looking as his best. He's not. You could tell. I mean, dude's hurt. So that's why I still think it's gonna come down to James Harden. Even then, Tyrese Maxey. I would say Tyrese Maxey, Melton on defense. Where like, how can you limit a Jaylen Brown? Like, it's not fair to ask that again. But can you somehow limit Jaylen Brown, which is gonna be not an easy challenge for the Celtics. Don't live or die by Marcus Smart, like how the Sixers are gonna live and die by James Harden. You guys live and die by Marcus Smart all the time. Something, if it comes down to you guys shooting a key shot, let it be Tatum, let it be Jaylen Brown. And it's not that I don't trust Marcus. I mean I would let me slow down a little. I would want him to be the playmaker, but I don't want him being the floor spacer and him ending up deciding the shot. I mean, I know he'll shut me up, and I know he's made clutch shots before, but it's just like Tatum and Brown. It's your guys' team. Like you guys are the leaders of this team. Let it be you guys, please. I've said please only like twice, three. Those are my pleases. I mean a lot. I mean, obviously, so far, toxic trades is please, and dude. But out of all of those three words, please, I really mean those. So Uh, same thing with PJ Tucker, Al Horford. That shot's there for a reason, but get you a few little post up, try to exploit some mismatches. Um, it's not that I don't trust you to make it. I trust Al Horford to make it more than PJ Tucker, to be honest. But it's been bad these last two games where like Al Horford, like you're stressing out your team. Like I can see it. Like you're stressing me out, dude, and I'm not really even worried about it. So I still look at that guy though. I still look at Al Horford, and I trust him for one of these games for sure. Robert Williams, can you limit Embiid? Can you outwork him in the offensive glass? That's one of the big matchups. Like offensive glass, outwork Embiid. Robert Williams, can you do that? Um, Tatum, like that was a big sigh because Tatum, I know you're capable of it, but I'm thinking 34. 34 realistically is what it's gonna take. Unless Jalen does the same thing and Jalen does the 34, 36. I need 34 to like 30, between 34 to 36 from either Tatum or Brown, but it should be Tatum. It has to be Tatum. Both of those guys, best duo in the league, live and die by those two guys. Like, I don't care, like, as far as who's the alpha or whatever, that you guys can't coexist with each other. Live or die by you two. You two take the pressure. This is your guys' team. And realistically, what was I asking for KD and Book? I was asking like 70 for KD and Book. You guys can be right there. I'm thinking like 68. I need 68 from both of you guys combined. And there's no way you guys lose this game. Other than that, I'm excited. I love the playoffs. As much as I'm stressed out and I complain during the game and stuff like that, I live for this. I live to watch the NBA playoffs. And that's gonna cut it for this episode. I did what, 38 minutes by myself, freestyle. No notes. I looked at the MacBook like 3 times. And go Lakers.